Good morning, everyone. I have fantastic and wonderful Historathon news. So I finished my book for the third quarter of Historathon, playing the Scottish card, which is about the attempted invasion of Jacobite forces with the help of the French in 1708, and that failure, that early failure of the Jacobite cause right after the Union, and what happened, the cast of characters in it, and then ultimately like what happened next. I loved it. I want to read it again when I get a chance so that I can maybe take some more notes and retain some more of the fine details. But as you know, I chose to read this because one of my favorite novels, Susanna Kearsley's The Winter Sea, she got her inspiration from this book to write that story. And there's a mention of Slane's Castle, which is an important setting in the story where these characters met and plotted part of the attempted invasion. And then, of course, it's just a few names and little tidbits that she obviously worked off of to create her own story. And so it was really interesting. Again, it's hard for me to retain all of the information because there's so much in the book, but that's why I want to go back and read it again. It was an easy read, straightforward. It's just then telling you this happened, then this happened, then this happened. I'd need a lot more study and note taking to take all that in, but it was so cool to finally get to this and see some of the inspiration that she had for that novel. And I'll probably go back and read the novel again. After all, I feel like that one I should just probably read once a year. I need to get a copy and then just reread it every year because I love it so much. And I'm gonna go ahead and reread this one again after maybe I do my reread of the novel. So that's fantastic news. So here's my book done. We still have 2 months left of the quarter. So instead of starting something new, I did consider it when I finished this. I was like, I feel like I want to start something new. And then I reminded myself that I have this guy and I am just barely halfway through it. And we are well past halfway through the year. So I have not made good progress on this lately. And this is what I need to focus on. So instead of starting something new, or I thought about doing a side quest novel because I have plenty of novels I want to read, historical fiction that I have not got to. I'm just going to focus on this. So this is what I'm working on. And speaking of history and Historathon-ish news, I guess it will affect a little bit of my reading because I have decided to go back to school. I applied to an online history degree and I was admitted, and I'm so excited because this is something I wanted to do for a long time. It's sort of, tried to start, had to stop, had to pause those studies, like sort of official studies where I'm actually going to work on my writing skills and my analysis and learn from historians. Whereas right now I just feel like I kind of read and watch videos and consume, and I do learn things, but I want to have a deeper understanding of doing research and writing and becoming more of a historian than I am. Right now, I'm just kind of a history reader, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it is something I wanted to do, so I'm gonna go for it. So I start at the end of August is when the term starts, so it's a few weeks away, and I have a feeling that that will affect my history reading, and I already find it challenging to do more than one small book in the quarter just because life is so busy in general. But the good news is I assume that I will be covering, I'm doing some early American history as one of my courses, and So that won't cover the fourth quarter of Historathon, but I'm sure there will be some reading in my other class on women in American history that will fit the prompt. So I may just go with what my assigned reading is for that. I do actually have a book I want to read in quarter four that I've been holding on to. So I will try to get to that one as well. I really want to read it, and I've been wanting to read it all year. So the other thing I could do is I could start that now and just, it's a small book, but it's actually right up here in this stack. It's something I've been wanting to read, and I may cheat a little bit and get started a little bit early so that maybe it'll be done. I can get it done by the end of the year if something happens, but I have a feeling that the school reading, it always does take up a lot of time, and but I think it'll fit the prompt, so I can still be part of Historathon. And not that that's a huge deal, but as a person who keeps flunking out of readathons on booktube, I just like to complete one and feel like I did what I set out to do at the beginning of the year for once. So yes, that is the news in my history life, is that I'm gonna go back to school and try to become a historian. But until then, that's another reason why I need to see, that's also gonna be hard to tackle daily when I'm doing readings for coursework and writing for those classes. So working on this now is gonna be a big priority. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that today, or get back into this today and really get moving on it. So that is it for my update on Historathon quarter 3. I finished my book. Fantastic, wonderful news. I loved it. And I think I've always said that like 18th century history seems to be where I really am interested. I love it, all types, from all over the world. So maybe that's something I need to lean into as I'm trying to figure out what areas to focus on in my own study. And clearly, like, the Jacobites are interesting, so I think that's part of it too. But I just think the whole 18th century, everything that's going on, is really interesting. And maybe that's just what I need to have my focus on. I still want to read a little bit of ancient history, modern stuff, try to get broad knowledge, and I think that Historathon's great for that. But I think this might be kind of my area of special interest. So nothing wrong with delving into that and getting really knowledgeable about it and enjoying it at the same time. So, all right, let's go get reading. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.